Indiana, we are simply passing through history. This is history.
Steven Spielberg is a prolific director.
I think what makes a good director more than anything else is just having a good imagination.
He created the modern blockbuster with Jaws.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Broke the highest grossing film of all time record with E.T.
Oh no.
And then he did it again with Jurassic Park.
Life finds a way.
He's one of the most Oscar-nominated people in history.
Am I allowed to say I really wanted this?
And when it comes to directing Snakes, he's second to none.
You're ruining my movie.
But what I think makes Spielberg truly unique is how simple his filmmaking is.
Well, goddammit, anywhere doesn't it hurt?
Here.
And today, we're going to look at one of his most iconic films to understand this. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark hurdles us through a cascade of non-stop adventures. It has everything.
Hello. 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 How are you?
Look at how tight this is. Look at how excellent it is. Very impressive film.
This scene is a single unbroken 90-second take that basically includes 4 different compositions in one. It starts with a wide shot with a frantic and busy atmosphere, which is then cut through when the background noise stops, effectively conveying to us, this is a tense moment. Without even really realising it, we've now pushed into a single of the drinker. The camera follows him as he puts the glass down and seamlessly goes up into the second single of Marion, giving us our third composition in 20 seconds without cutting at all. She looks as if she's struggling, and then hands from outside of the shot come in and obscure the frame. This is a technique Spielberg uses throughout the movie, often used to tell us what the character sees, or what they don't. We then follow Marion as she puts the glass down, and again, something from outside of the frame comes into the shot, this time the other drinker's hand. We follow it up to the single, he drinks, but because there's no editing, we don't expect the timing of this.
You should start to be glazing over even as the drink is coming up. Right.
Because we never cut to a wider shot, the intimacy between the two subjects is maintained despite being surrounded by other people. But because the shot switches subjects and compositions, we don't really register it as one long take, and every time the camera moves, it's motivated, in this case following the glasses from person to person. Let's compare it to some other, maybe more famous long takes. First up, Goodfellas.
What are you doing? You leaving your car?
The camera follows Henry and Karen as they make their way across the street and enter through the private entrance of the restaurant.
There you go.
Everyone opens the doors for them and greets them as they make their way through the restaurant in one continuous movement.
Every time, you two. Don't you work?
The camera is always following Henry and Karen round corners and through the kitchen, so we notice the lack of cuts. And this was Scorsese's intention.
The whole idea is that it had to be done in one take, so you don't feel that it was a series of cuts or that there was a separation between him and the world that he was trying to get into.
Henry, nice to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Hi, how are you?
There's also this shot in Children of Men, where the camera repeatedly whips around from subject to subject to create a sense of chaos. Daredevil does it for the fight scenes, Birdman does it for the whole movie, and there's this shot from Contact, which I still can't work out how they did. This is all to say, most long takes draw attention to themselves, but Spielberg's don't. He's not flexing his filmmaking muscles or using the long take to make a point, he just uses it in a simple way to make the scene more engaging.
Nothing else has come close.
And Raiders is full of details like this that make the movie all the more compelling. Small character moments like Marion drinking during a gunfight, or hitting Indy with the mirror, the monkey doing this, the opening dissolve,
I just thought it would be fun to start with the Paramount Mountain.
shooting in some stunning locations from around the world,
The canyon where Indy is above them and they've got the arc going down. It's the same canyon where R2-D2 is taken by the Jawas in Star Wars. It's exactly the same location.
and this reveal here. The music and reaction shot make us think this is some kind of torture device, but it's just a coat hanger. This was actually a joke meant for Spielberg's previous film, 1941.
Problems with your digestion you have. Ways of relief we can give.
But he couldn't get it to work there, so he recycled it and used it in Raiders.
And I had this bet with myself. I would try this gag out in my next 10 films, and I would stop when it was got a laugh.
Another great thing in Raiders? Eyes. In introducing the villain like this, we somehow understand he's evil. The film also makes great use of shadows, introducing Indy in silhouette, or shooting bad guys like this. Because sometimes it's more effective to not show us the action. Spielberg is a master of making otherwise boring exposition scenes much more interesting.
What's this?
It's a day. You eat 'em.
And there's two examples we can look at. The first, another long take. It starts with Indy's eye framed perfectly in the hole in the door. He walks away, and then the kid comes into center frame and becomes the new subject. Eye patch guy comes forward, and Spielberg isn't afraid to cut away from the long take to make a point of something being pulled on the dates. We then cut to another long take. Notice how different characters enter and leave the frame as they're talking.
I tell you only what I saw with my own eyes.
And the movement of the camera matches the movement of the kid.
And surrounding the crystal.
And when the camera moves back, it follows Indy. We then get a brief cutaway to the monkey taking the date, and then we go back to the original take, as it moves forward into a free shot.
This is a warning.
The scene then unfolds more traditionally with editing. Because the staging remains the same, Spielberg keeps the momentum by cutting instead of moving the camera. And one of these cuts is to the monkey eating the date, before cutting to Indy where he almost eats his.
Wait!
The scene continues until Indy throws his date up in the air, but before he can eat it, cut to the monkey dead on the floor.
Bad dates.
Through these cutaways, Spielberg tells a secondary story within the scene. We understand the dates were poisoned, the monkey took and then ate one. Salah sees a dead monkey, so he stops Indy from eating his. To get a better understanding of this scene, we can look at a famous Hitchcock quote about putting a bomb under a table when two characters are talking.
In 5 minutes' time, that bomb will go off.
It makes the scene more suspenseful because the audience knows something the characters don't. Dramatic irony.
Now the conversation about baseball becomes very vital.
And the same thing is happening here. We know the dates are poisoned, but the characters don't. We're aware of the threat, but the characters aren't, drawing us into the scene because we want to warn them about the danger.
Don't be ridiculous, stop talking about baseball, there's a bomb under there.
But Spielberg takes this a step further. He makes a point of Indy picking up the date, stepping into frame when Salah stops talking.
On one side, there were raised markings, just like that one.
And he makes a point of him almost eating it.
Wait!
The characters come close to discovering the bomb, squeezing every bit of tension out of this setup. But it's only at the final moment, when it's closest to going off, do they realise the danger.
Bad dates.
Spielberg is adding some tension and dramatic irony to the moment, transforming it from a simple exposition scene into a suspense scene. And now, on to example number 2.
Take 5. How come you haven't found some nice girl to settle down with?
Indy and Marion are walking through the city, talking about their past and building their character dynamic.
Raise 8 or 9 kids like your friend Salah.
But this is interspersed with a growing plot against them.
Hey! Where are you going?
The monkey runs off towards Eye Patch Guy. Eye Patch Guy meets with some shadowy villains. The villains assemble a team of bad guys. They meet on the street before attacking Indy and Marion. What's interesting about this is that it's all done with no dialogue whatsoever. Eye Patch Guy never talks to the villains and the villains never talk to the bad guys. It's storytelling on a purely visual level. And like the dates, by interspersing these small visual moments within the scene, it tells a secondary story that adds tension and suspense. This scene isn't just exposition, but prepares us for an action sequence. And when it comes to action sequences, there's not many who do it quite like Spielberg. Cut to Indy on horseback chasing after the truck holding the Ark. This scene is full of small moments that elevate it to one of the all-time classic chase scenes. It makes great use of mirrors to show us the geography of the action. This guy's hat falling off adds a small comedic moment to the scene. The same with this guy falling on the truck, giving us a moment to breathe and keeping the tone light. So when the Jeep plummets off the cliff in classic B-movie fashion, it doesn't feel out of place. And of course, it's paced excellently, seamlessly moving from threat to threat. It starts with Indy on horseback at a disadvantage. He faces his first challenge when he struggles to gain control of the Jeep, but he ultimately succeeds. He overcomes his second challenge when he fights off the other vehicles, but he gets cocky, thinking he's in the clear. And only then is another threat introduced, the people inside the truck. But he fails this third challenge, getting shot and thrown out the windscreen. He's at his lowest point when he's hanging off the front, before climbing under the Jeep, facing his biggest challenge yet, and ultimately taking back control.
Have you ever done anything like this? Dragging behind a car?
Dragging behind a car. No?
This scene follows the classic 3-act structure. He begins overconfident, leaving to chase the truck without a plan.
I don't know, I'm making this up as I go.
Once he hijacks the truck, we're in Act 2. The tension rises and the stakes get higher as Indy puts himself in harm's way. The midpoint reveal is that soldiers have been inside the truck the entire time, and because he's overconfident, he fails this challenge. He's now at his lowest point going into the third act, and it's only after facing defeat and learning not to get cocky can he return determined, focused, and successful. So now we've talked about long takes, exposition scenes, and an action scene, but there's another really simple filmmaking device Spielberg uses well: setups and payoffs.
Cut, lovely.
It's tote burn in his hand, leading to this moment later on, or this image of the Ark in the book,
Now what's that supposed to be coming out of there?
foreshadowing the end of the movie.
Fire. Power of God or something.
We learn Indy's scared of snakes,
I hate snakes, Doc! I hate them!
and later on, he has to face his fear.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
We can even see it within scenes. Take the opening. Before they even go inside the temple, 3 things are established. This setting is dangerous.
Poison is still fresh, 3 days.
For some reason, Indy needs a bag of sand,
Nobody's come out of there alive.
and his team is untrustworthy. Throughout the sequence, these 3 elements are revisited. The traps inside the temple add even more danger. We learn why Indy needed a bag of sand, and then he gets betrayed.
Give me the whip!
Adios, senor.
And once he gets out, all of this is wrapped up. The original team member is dead, killed by the natives, and the idol gets stolen.
Too bad the Jovitos don't know either way I do, Belloc.
So in this scene, Indy starts off being shot from behind, or at hip level. And even when his face is revealed, it's still in shadows. But when he sees the treasure, he steps into the light. Only when he's close enough to the object of his desire do we see his face clearly. This lighting tells us that Indy cannot avert his eyes from treasure, no matter what it costs. Once again in the tomb later in the movie, Indy is lit with bright, warm light, staring at an ancient artifact. But in the climax, this is flipped on its head. Instead of hunting it down himself, Indy is tied up, lit with the blue moonlight, watching his enemies get the treasure. And just like Indy swaps the idol with a bag of sand, the Ark is linked to sand too. But instead of staring at it, he looks away.
Marion, don't look at it.
He's transformed from skeptic
I don't believe in magic, a lot of superstitious hocus pocus.
to believer.
Shut your eyes, Marion, don't look at it no matter what happens.
From someone who steals ancient relics
It's beautiful, Marcus. I can get it.
to someone who respects their power.
I don't know what they've got there.
And it's because of this transformation that he and Marion get out alive.
The 3 of us are here because we know what a great feeling it is to win an Academy Award for directing.
Spielberg is a prolific director,
Yeah, it was the greatest honor that I've ever received.
but also, as hopefully this video has made clear, a simple one.
Date the fine as we have.
He doesn't have any kind of signature dialogue like Tarantino.
Did you just order a $5 shake?
He isn't really associated with any particular genre like Scorsese,
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
and his movies don't have a distinct look like Wes Anderson.
Truly.
But what he does have is excellent cinematic instincts.
Marion, I'm sorry.
Forgotten tombs, giant tarantulas, thousands of poisonous snakes, evil, bloodthirsty Nazis.
Surely you don't think you can escape from this island?
And the best chase scene I've ever seen in a movie. I really love this.
It's not as if all the methods I've talked about are particularly revolutionary, but it's a masterful execution and sheer quantity of them that makes Raiders so effective.
And Raiders is one of those films that I can look at with my kids and divorce myself from all my knowledge and forget how it was made and watch it from the point of view of an audience. And that's what's fun about that picture.
Everything is considered, like the pop of red in the beige canyon, or the pop of green in the brown classroom.
I had it, Marcus. I had it in my hand.
Treasure is consistently associated with gold, but when Indy's in danger, there's usually some kind of blue light. And in the climax, these 2 tones combine. Spielberg uses a whole range of filmmaking devices to elevate it from a generic action movie to an iconic, timeless classic.
Asps. Very dangerous. You go first.
Raiders might not be the most narratively sophisticated or mature film in Spielberg's canon, but on a pure filmmaking level, it proves why he's one of the most prolific directors working today.
You know it's true. How nice.
Hey everyone, my name's Lawrence and this has been Archer Green. Thank you so much for watching. What's your favourite Spielberg film? Leave a comment down below of your pick. But for now, I'll catch you in the next video.